Hey everyone, I'm Case Aiken, and I wanted to share some Dungeons & Dragons homebrew I've been working on. Something that started as a little subclass idea that has grown into something I'm genuinely excited about and really enjoying in my current playtest of it. Now, some of you may have already seen this on the Discord for certain POV, but I've made updates and refinements and I'm hoping to get more feedback here. So let me introduce you to the Vanguard Ranger. Now, what is the Vanguard Ranger? Well, this is a ranger that is designed as an ally-focused subclass, a kind of battlefield commander who still fits within the martial skirmisher identity of the ranger. The central mechanic is the Vanguard's Mark, which riffs off the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons update, where rangers automatically have Hunter's Mark prepared and get a few free uses per day without spending spell slots. So my question was, what if a ranger could share that mark with an ally? That's the heart of the subclass, a ranger who sets up enemies for others to knock down, a tactical support unit that still moves and strikes like a ranger, but thinks like a leader. The inspiration came partly from the Warlord class from 4th edition, which I adored. The Warlord wasn't about smashing enemies directly, it was about weaponizing your team. The old adage was, your barbarian hits the enemy with their axe, the Warlord hits the enemy with their barbarian. That concept stuck with me. But I didn't want to recreate the Lazy Lord from 4th edition. I wanted the Vanguard Ranger to be capable in combat. They are still a martial class, after all, but their real strength lies in buffing, directing, and shouting people into effectiveness. Alright, so let's get into the subclass features. Rangers get subclass features at 3rd level, like most classes, 7th level, 11th, and 15th. So here is the core breakdown and my thinking behind each design choice. At level 3, we get Vanguard's Mark and Directing Shout. So Vanguard's Mark, I already explained, is sharing the Hunter's Mark with an ally. It's great for classes like fighters and monks with multiple attacks, giving them extra damage and allows for the team to have a shared sense of focus. At 3rd level, most rangers get some kind of damage bump, but in this case, it's a damage bump that is shared by allies rather than simply by the ranger themselves. They also get Directing Shout, where they can trade one attack to let an ally move using their reaction. This feels very Warlord-esque, though slightly less impactful in 5e than it was in, say, 3rd edition, where movement outside your turn was a much bigger deal. I also gave them spells. Not all ranger subclasses get spells, but I wanted to have one here, especially because this is a scenario where there's a lot of martial features baked into the class, and I wanted the utility to come from spellcasting. So I leaned into spells that serve a scout support vibe, giving the ranger ways to be useful outside of just combat. First up, they get Message as a cantrip. This is for coordination and subtle communication. I love this spell, and I wanted to give them something that would be utility focused in addition to all of the features they're getting at level 3 that are combat focused. They get Healing Word. This comes into play later, but it's great for combat triage. They get Skyrite, battlefield morale or tactical signaling. They get Leomund's Tiny Hut, strong utility for any adventuring party, and particularly strong now that rangers are able to use ritual casting. They get Hallucinatory Terrain, which is great for environmental control. And then finally, I gave them Rary's Telepathic Bond, which is a huge boost in team coordination, and now castable without spending spell slots thanks to the 2024 ritual casting changes. Moving on to 7th level, we have Rallying Shout. So this works as such. It gives the ranger a pool of free healing word uses equal to their wisdom modifier. In addition, anytime the ranger casts healing word, whether it's the free use or not, the target gets the benefit of Bless for 1 round. Now, Bless gives a bonus to attack rolls and saving throws. It's a great short-term boost to an ally. And I see this as a solid party support tool, and it helps solidify the ranger as more than just a damage dealer or scout. At level 11, they get War Shout and Strategist. Now, War Shout acts as an upgraded version of Directing Shout, now letting an ally both move and attack as a reaction, usable a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. And they get Strategist, which is a bonus to the ranger and their allies' initiative equal to the wisdom modifier of the ranger. It's a strong feature, but it's subtle. Positioning and tempo matter in tough fights, after all. Moving on to level 15, we close out the class with Greater Rallying Shout. So this gives an additional pool of healing, in this case, now allowing them to cast Mass Healing Word a number of times per day equal to their wisdom modifier. And then there's a buff to both the Mass Healing Word and Standard Healing Word spells, where in addition to the bless effect for 1 round, it also grants half cover for 1 round. Half cover grants a +2 to AC and a bonus to dexterity saving throws. And that is a huge boost for surviving incoming fire right after a character presumably has been brought back from 0 hit points. Think of it as tactical triage and battlefield shielding. So this gets to where I'm still tinkering. Now, I am currently playtesting this subclass in a campaign, and overall, I'm pretty happy with the Vanguard Ranger, but I have gotten some notes that it is very martial focused. And that is fair. It's built to lean into the Warlord vibe, but I want to make sure it doesn't leave out the more utilitarian side of the Ranger. So here are a few options I'm considering. I could add a ribbon feature at 3rd, adding wisdom to history checks, similar to how the Fey Wanderer adds wisdom to charisma checks. This would be more restricted and thus way more specific to niche cases, but it would support the idea of the Vanguard as a military strategist. But I do worry that it might be too much at level 3, which is already extremely feature heavy, even if none of the features are directly beneficial to the Ranger in combat. I've also considered moving Rallying Shout to level 3 and swap in a different utility spell at level 7. That would give party support earlier, but I'm still unsure what spells feel right thematically. Maybe Command? I'm hesitant to lean too far into Divine Caster territory. I want this to feel martial, not magical orders from a cleric, but barked orders from a hardened leader. So in conclusion, please let me know what you think. The Vanguard Ranger has been a passion project. I think it has real legs, and I'd love more feedback as I refine it. If you have a chance to play it, review it, or just theorycraft around it, drop your thoughts. Let me know what you'd adjust, what feels fun, and what needs sharpening. I'll be linking to the full subclass on D&D Beyond here in the description, so you can take a look and try it out for yourself. But otherwise, thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.